August 4th, 2016, I uploaded my first ever YouTube vlog, and I had no idea what I was doing. 6 months later, I uploaded another video, then another, and another, and another, each one gaining new skills, eventually leading me to today. It's been a long journey trying to figure all this out, so hopefully today I can save you some time, share some tips on what I wish I knew going into this, and maybe you can learn a thing or two. So it all starts as an idea. It can be as big as a fleshed out concept or as small as an itch you want to scratch. Ideas to me come at any random time, and there's a small finite window of time that I have to lock it down. Otherwise, it's so easy to forget. I have a shortcut on my iPhone where if I press this button, a voice recording starts going, and I found this is the fastest way to get an idea just out into existence, and I don't always look back at these voice recordings, but at least it's out of my head. Also, I use Notion to keep track of and script out my ideas. I truly envy those who can just kind of freestyle and make videos off the top of their head. I've tried that. They came out terrible, so I no longer do that. I script out my talking points, and it just helps me to get it out of my head, and I tend to loosely follow it. So you have your idea, but how do you make it stand out among the crowd? And I do so by looking for a creative edge. Just an extra 10% that makes my life 10 times harder, but it keeps me striving for more, and I like to think that the audience appreciates it too. If you look at my previous videos, most of them don't follow anything inherently new. The topic itself is usually a proven concept that has done well before. I'm definitely not the first person that's done a camera bag review or has had a productive day in NYC, but it's the creative edge that I bring to my videos that transforms it from a regular video into a cult video. Let me explain. All right. So what we have here is the Dream Machine 3000. It's an ancient piece of technology that when I put these headphones on, because they had headphones back then, it's basically gonna read my brain waves and picks out the creative edge that we did in these videos. So if we take a look at my Mario Kart video, hardly a regular video, but if you could see, actually we gotta dial in some stuff here. The Mario Kart video is hardly a regular video, but when unboxing the actual Mario Kart, I could have used a regular knife like a normal person, but I just wanted that little extra 10%, and I did so by painstakingly opening it with a Lego lightsaber. Another example is my how to use a camera video. The beginning half was pretty boring, and I was really afraid people wouldn't even make it to the end of the tutorial, but in order to spice it up, that 10%, that creative edge, was boots and my character Dora the New Yorker. A common creative edge that I use in my videos is bringing otherworldly characters into my videos. So Boots in this video is kind of this magical pair of boots that is kind of like my sidekick partner, teaching you how to use a camera, and it just keeps everything more fun and engaging. This is the same story with Oscar the Grouch in multiple videos now, just like a fun character that kind of breaks up the regularness of everything and kind of just like heightens reality a little bit. I think you get the point, but a couple other examples is my productive day in NYC. It starts off like a regular vlog, but then there's a whole Chef Boyardee recreation segment. That wasn't easy to do. That was like 20% creative effort, but I always find that, most of the time, it's worth it in the end. You got the Minecraft portal, Yoda, Lego guys, stop motion, my new buddy Pip. The Dream Machine was my idea for a creative edge for this video, and whatever it ends up being, I just try to add just like a little extra creativity, extra 10% of effort into each of my videos because it's fun for me. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I just feel like it really just gives the video a soul, you know? It kind of just gives you ownership of your idea. I can make a vlog, but it's just a vlog. But once I add my 10%, now it's a Colt Kirwan vlog. Ooh. You a little hungry? I think it's time for my lunchbox theory. So when doing YouTube, you really shouldn't overlook thumbnails and titles, and to explain this better, I created a metaphor that I'm coining as the lunchbox theory. Most of my videos start like a basic sandwich, a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's a sandwich. It gets the job done, but it doesn't really have you coming back for more. You're not left thinking, man, I can't wait to have another one. Your thumbnail and title are like the lunchbox itself. A brown paper bag isn't that exciting, and when you check inside and get a bologna sandwich, you might feel a little disappointed. Now, when you're browsing your homepage and looking for a video to watch, you're gonna scroll past those brown paper bags because you're conditioned to think that all of them have a bologna sandwich inside. And even if this wasn't the case and the video inside was amazing, people still might not give it a chance because the last time they clicked on a paper bag, it wasn't that appealing. But what if you had a sick Scooby-Doo lunchbox? Immediately, it catches your attention, and as a viewer, you're curious to checking out, oh, what's different about this lunchbox? Now, if there's a bologna sandwich inside, you lost your trust in the Scooby-Doo lunchbox. But imagine there's a bangin' sandwich with pirate booty and Fiji water. That's my lunchbox theory. The creativity and story is the surprise you get from when you open the lunchbox, and your thumbnail title needs to stand out in order for the viewer to even give it a chance in the first place. It's still work in progress, still working on the science behind this theory, but now every time somebody clicks on your thumbnail, they know they're in for a treat. So you have your idea scripted out, and now it's time to bring it into reality. Generally, I find myself to be not an anxious person. I'm the type of guy that when somebody comes to me stressing, I say, yo, relax. But when it comes to filming videos, something about staring into this black void of a lens just stresses me the heck out. Everyone's asking, why don't you upload more often? It's honestly because I'm avoiding talking to this guy. Contrary to what you see online, the beauty of editing is I'm able to cut out all the retakes and awkward moments so that you only get to see this finalized version of myself. But even the sentence right now, ah shoot, I was going on a run, but this is like the 10th time I've actually said this sentence. Okay, now this is the 11th time that I'm saying this sentence, but you get the point. I'm pretty awkward on camera. I'm getting better. The more you do anything, the better you get at it. So yeah, generally production is one of my favorite parts of the process, but also one of the most painstaking parts of the process for me. And I also don't know where it went wrong, and everyone apparently is vlogging on like a $5,000 setup to do YouTube nowadays. And I'm a part of the problem, but although gear is fun and it has its time and place, it's not necessary. It's more of a convenience that if you can afford it, it makes making videos that much better. My first ever video was shot on an iPhone 6s, and since then I've been saving up money and collecting more and more now I have too much camera gear, but it's just like my passion. You don't necessarily need it to do YouTube. For me, the more gear allows me to get the shots that I'm specifically looking to get. And I honestly have too much gear, but I want to show you my kind of just typical kit that I use for making my YouTube videos. And yeah, this is kind of the essential, kind of bare bones, what I would take out on a day of filming. Alright, so if we take a little stroll over here, this is my gear closet over here. This is kind of where I pack all my cameras and stuff. The star of the show, the Sony a7S III. I love this camera. I owe my life to this camera. For the past 5 or 6 years, all of my YouTube videos, all of my client work has been shot on this very camera. At the time, I spent all of my money on this camera. I think it was like $3,500, which it still hurts to this day, but it hasn't missed a beat since. This deserves like a prize of like the best camera in the world, because this thing is honestly so nice. It's got everything you could ever want, and it just does it so awesomely. So I love you, A7S III. And to pair that, you need a lens for your camera. So these are my two workhorse lenses. This is the Sony 11mm f1.8. I get awkward and I don't want to like stick my hand out so far when I'm vlogging, but the Sony 11mm on a full frame camera is just super wide. And this is because this is an APS-C lens on a full frame mount. So a lot of people ask like what the little black vignette is in my videos, and just because I was too lazy to crop it in. Most of my videos were shot on a Sony 16-35 GM1 lens, but unfortunately it finally broke. I still got to try to fix it, but I was like, do I go and bite the bullet and buy another G Master lens, or I've been eyeing this one for a while. This is the Sony 20-70 f4. I don't want to necessarily be known for being like a cinematic creator, and everything is like, oh, shoot it f1.4, 2.8, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I'm all for f4. I feel like a weight's been lifted off me, not having to care about like, oh my God, my depth of field is not depth of field enough, you know? So This is a really nice lens, 20-70. Now video is important, but audio is just as important. And for that, I run a little like dual audio setup. So this is the Sony ECM B10 shotgun microphone. Super reliable, super easy to use. No wires, you just plug it into the hot shoe and I just leave my audio level on auto. Doesn't clip, sounds pretty fantastic. And a recent addition to my videos is the Tentacle Sync Track E. I use this with a COS 11D lavalier microphone. This is the perfect combo that I find is a good balance of there's backup security audio with the shotgun microphone that sounds good, but then also you got 32-bit flow, no cutouts, audio recording with timecode with the Tentacle Sync. So this is what I run for audio, and this is it's getting a little crazy. You don't need all this stuff, but to me, I just really like the peace of mind that my audio is not gonna clip or drop out. So Tentacle Sync, shotgun mic, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, I got a tripod over here. This is the Falcam Tree Root tripod. It's gonna run you a little pretty penny. I think it's like 400 bucks, but you just spent $5 on your camera, so you might as well not put it on something that's gonna fall over. So this is a pretty fantastic tripod. Works really well. So I highly recommend a stable tripod. I'm in the boat of buy once, cry once, and especially when you're spending so much on camera gear, it kind of is worth it to kind of just save up for the extra quality and it'll last you a lifetime. Filming by yourself can be a pretty daunting task, and I feel like I have a lot of self-doubt, but once I kind of get going, I'm good. But something that has helped me out a lot has actually been asking for help. Who knew? Asking for help was really helpful. I'm pretty protective over my creativity and my whole process, but let me introduce you to a familiar face of the channel. Get over here, Tyson. Let's get a round of applause.
Hey, what's up, what's up?
So this is my college friend Tyson, and he's been helping me film for the past couple of months for my YouTube videos, and he drives a whole like 2 hours one way to get out here. So having that pressure of first somebody's showing up for you, I gotta be sure not to waste too much of his time, so it kind of keeps me accountable and kind of just like on top of everything to kind of have everything planned out, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Having a friend helps take the pressure off of filming by yourself, and you don't feel like a crazy person just talking to yourself because Tyson's behind the camera. So thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Of course.
Now get behind the camera.
Oh, right.
So now that you've filmed everything, we have to organize it to keep track of it. And my dad always said, if you're gonna do something, do it right. So it's an extra step, it's a little tedious, but we're gonna import our footage and organize it before we even start editing the project. I'll share my workflow and some tips on how I edit faster in a bit, but before all that, probably one of the most important part of the creative process begins, which is finding music. So audio to me is kind of what gives your project life. It kind of sets the tone and lets the viewer feel the emotions you intended them to feel. I've been a longtime user of Epidemic Sound, and I'm happy to be partnering with them for this video. So in my early days, finding songs used to be a bit of a struggle. It was a janky process of scouring YouTube for free-to-use beats, then finding a site to convert the video into a downloadable MP3 file, and if you're lucky, you clicked the right download button and didn't get a virus. Epidemic Sound makes finding music a whole lot easier. You get access to an enormous catalog of 50,000 tracks and over 200,000 sound effects, all of which are restriction-free. One of my favorite parts is you can either download the full track, or say you find a song where you just really want the instrumental part. Well, you can simply download the stems where the song is broken into individual parts, and you can curate the song exactly how you want it. It really is the best soundtracking platform for every creator, and the coolest part is I have a code. There's a link in the top of my description to create a free account, and if you use the code COLT, that's me, Epidemic Sound is hooking you up with 50% off an annual plan. A no-brainer to me, and if you make videos in any capacity, I highly recommend you check them out. I usually spend a good hour or so downloading a handful of songs that I could potentially work off of, and once I've got a stack, I can play around with them and say, oh, does this work for an intro, an outro, ooh, this song could be good for a transition, and I start the edit. Now for some tips to edit faster, I'm not gonna do this justice, but I am so passionate about my keyboard shortcuts, and once I figured out how to customize them, it changed the game for me. So it's gonna be a lot, but I'm gonna run you through my keyboard shortcuts that you can copy if you like them. And basically the idea is that your left hand has all the essential tools. You don't have to be jumping around the keyboard. They're all kind of like in these 2-3 rows right here, and then your right hand can kind of stay on the keyboard or the trackpad. So let's get started. So by default, your in and out points are your left bracket and right bracket. This is all the way on the right side of your keyboard, so I've moved it to my 1 and 2 keys. This allows me to keep the timeline a little bit cleaner, and instead of dropping an entire clip and trimming it to size, I can set a rough size that I can import to a segment in the timeline. I'm constantly zooming in and out, and by default it's on the plus and minus keys, but again, it's all the way on the right side of the keyboard, so I've moved that to 3 and 4. So now instead of jumping back and forth, my 1, 2, 3, 4 has got me covered. If we jump down to QWER, this is where the fun part comes in. I set Q and W to ripple edit left and right. These keys now replace clicking cut, cutting, selecting, deleting, selecting, and moving over. Ripple edit just does all this in one shot. I set E to ripple delete, and my R is my cut tools. So now as we're editing, we can ripple edit left, we can ripple edit right, we can cut, select, delete, all within these 2 or 3 rows. Mwah! Chef's kiss. I'm like nerding out about keyboard shortcuts, but it really makes editing a whole lot more enjoyable and a whole lot faster. And once you got all these down, like you feel like a god. You're just like going off, boom, 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 cut, boom, boom, edit, 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 and then boom, your video's done. I wish it was that simple, but it definitely helps to speed up my post-production. All right, you've made it to the end of my how to make a video. And quickly, I just want to do a little recap of what we learned today. So we went over finding a baseline topic for your video. This is to give your video structure and a direction on where to go. Next, you must find your creative edge to help transform your topic into something that'll stand out. Make sure you package your title and thumbnail to something that'll intrigue your audience, and be sure to pack something tasty inside. We went over my kit for filming videos, and just know it's still awkward to me. It's so awkward for most people, so you're not alone in this. And finally, finding the right music can really bring your videos to life. And don't forget to use code COLT on Epidemic Sound, link in the description. So this is a look into how I make videos, and I hope you guys learned a thing or two today. And now it's time for you to run along and go make yours. YouTube transition.